Virgil Maxwell of Membrino County, Arizona, carried on the simple and honest tradition shared by the people who work the land, a tradition that remains unchanged to this day. Help thy neighbor.
There's still maybe about a half a dozen cows right up there in that chaparral. Got 3 or 4 calves with them.
Get us a big snow tonight, lose them calves.
Well, I might be able to find them still.
No, you run this bunch on down, get your supper, I'll run them.
Virgil's friends and neighbors would hardly be surprised that he received yet another call for help. But no one on earth could have guessed its strange origin or the miraculous means by which he would receive it.
If I ain't come to church again...
And aren't I ashamed making excuses to Pastor Maddox? Church wouldn't do you no harm, Virgil Maxwell.
Your own mare wasn't right on her time. I'd be there right alongside both of you.
In Prescott, many miles away, the second half of the Membrino County miracle was just beginning.
Dennis Hargis! Dennis!
It was the exact same dream you had before?
Yeah, twice, just the same. Hey, I think I hear him.
That's it. There's nobody out there.
For adventurous 9-year-old Dennis Hargis, waiting for the ride to take him to camp was pure agony.
And you're right in your own room and bed, but you're covered all over with snow?
Yeah, and this big man on a horse kept calling my name, but I couldn't move. Hey, that's him. I gotta go. Bye.
But neither his father nor mother could shake off the uneasy feeling over their son's upcoming trip. Ordinarily, camping groups arriving at the church facility would have been given a camp familiarization lecture. But the counselor wanted to get the boys settled in first. The high country of Membrino County was known for sudden and violent weather changes. In this part of northern Arizona, heavy snowfall was not unusual as late as the middle of May.
Yeah, storm's gonna be a beaut.
Virgil and his son often worked long hours together on the ranch, just as Virgil had as a boy with his own father. Another close father and son were Sheriff Bob Carr and his boy Jerry. As with Maxwell's son, Jerry enjoyed working with his dad.
Hi, son.
It's freezing out there.
I know. How's school today?
It's pretty good.
On that March 4th afternoon, the temperature began dropping rapidly. The storm was already moving in.
Hey, check it out. It's snowing. Man, you can't even see the trees anymore. Oh, no. I left my wallet in the van. I gotta go get it. Well, you better put a parka on. It's cold out there. I'm just going over to the van and back.
What started out as a short walk across the compound suddenly turned into a trek of nightmarish proportions. Within moments, 9-year-old Dennis Hargis, already unfamiliar with the layout of the campground, became hopelessly disoriented. All the immediate landmarks were hidden under a blanket of white powder and further obscured by the constantly falling snow. Soon, the youngster took a wrong turn and wandered out of the campground. Dennis continued to plunge on, expecting any time to find the recreation hall or one of the cabins. The first call came in from the camp counselor shortly after 3. By this time, Dennis Hargis had already been missing almost 2 hours.
Mr. Moore, calm down, sir. Okay, don't do a thing. Sit right down with the boys. Don't track up the area. I'm on my way. We've got us a lost little boy up at Firebird Camp. Son, I've got to depend on you. Get on the radio. Deputies, medevac, search and rescue. Can you handle it?
Yeah, Dad, don't worry. I can handle it.
Let's get your people escorted over here. Go ahead.
By now, more than 100 people had been alerted and had joined the search.
The search for Dennis Hargis, the little boy who disappeared from the YMCA church camp near Mount Solterra, will soon be hampered by darkness. The searchers, who now number more than 100, are spread out in a widening circle over an area of several miles. But a major problem is that intense snow flurries earlier today quickly covered any tracks, making it difficult to pick up little Dennis's trail. However, a break in the storm has allowed search and rescue crews, now aided by dogs and helicopters, to intensify their efforts in hope of finding Dennis before darkness settles in these rugged mountains.
The boy had covered an incredible 6 miles before coming to an old drift fence. Young Dennis was afraid his continued wandering would only take him farther and farther from safety. Cold and exhausted, he rigged up a crude shelter and climbed inside. Now, with only the flimsiest of protection and another storm moving in, he fell into a deep and weary sleep. His only company was fear and the relentless cold. Soon the searchers numbered more than 200 and involved some 12 different state, county, and volunteer agencies. The media coverage had become national, and people across the nation were praying that the lost little boy would be found. Although they searched all day, the boy was not found. To complicate the search even more, weather reports called for another new heavy storm again that night. Rancher Virgil Maxwell tucked in his son for the night and couldn't keep from thinking about another man, the father of the missing boy, whom he knew must be in sheer agony over the uncertain fate of his own son.
That little fella's been out in the cold 28 hours already. Tonight's gonna dip down 10, 12 degrees. He ain't never gonna make it.
My heart goes out to him too, honey. They got all those folks out looking for him. There's nothing more we can do about it. You just come on to bed now.
I'll be along.
But incredibly, though Virgil had never laid eyes on Dennis or his parents, that force that moves in such wondrous ways was already at work.
What?
Jenny, I know where that boy is. I just dreamed it, clear as day. That piece of old drift fence up along the south boundary of the government range. I gotta go get it.
Neither Virgil nor his wife or son questioned the need for them to go out in the bitter cold at 3:30 in the morning to look for the lost boy that Virgil had seen only in a dream.
Should have come across that fence line by now. Everything's all drifted over. You all right?
I'm a little cold, I guess.
Last time you listened to one of the old man's dreams, I bet.
Regardless of how their quest might turn out, Virgil found himself proud of his son's commitment to the stranger who needed help.
We gotta keep looking.
Come on now. Whoa! Whoa!
I can get him, Pa.
Get him, son. Be careful.
Come on, get him.
That frozen sun, freaked out horse. What in heaven's name am I doing out here?
Frustrated, tired, and full of doubt, Virgil nonetheless pushed forward, driven, impelled by the powerful vision of his unexpected dream.
Dennis Hargis! Dennis, come on, boy. Leave me alone. Come on.
A powerful fate had unquestionably been at work, as the unexplained and miraculous dreams of two strangers forever linked together the destinies of Virgil Maxwell and Dennis Hargis.
I was kind of, would wonder what would I have done without this guy coming and finding me. While we're driving back, there's the radio. There's a guy, they have a radio in the vehicle, and they're calling across the radio and saying, we found him, we found him. Felt like I was chosen, almost. Chosen to live, rather than to stay the extra 10 hours out there and to have died.